Hello, Saints, and welcome to Saved and Justified with me, Laborang Chisiza. Thank you for joining me again. If it's your first time, please do not hesitate to click on subscribe, share if you feel like somebody needs to hear this, and also click on the thumbs up. Okay, so the other day, no, the other week, I was trying to fall asleep and I couldn't. I was uncomfortable. And in me being uncomfortable, I was wondering why I was uncomfortable. Then I realized that I'm hot. I was just hot. And I was like, well, Labs, obviously, because you still have your 2-ply blanket and your duvet on. And it's like at night it gets to like 19 degrees. During the day we're sitting at like 33 degrees. It's hot. Let the blanket go. So I took off the blanket and I was able to rest and sleep. Then I realized the same concept applies with relationships. There's some relationships whose seasons have passed already, but we are holding them on to them for the sense of loyalty. Like, I can't hold on to that blanket because it kept me warm in winter. That was the purpose, to keep me warm in winter. But winter's gone. We're entering into a new season of summer, and newness is needed. I cannot carry that blanket. It makes me uncomfortable. The same with relationships. God brings certain people in our lives to help us in certain seasons. And we are also sent in other people's lives for certain seasons. And when that season has passed, it's okay to let it go. And I'm saying let it go. I'm saying let it run its course, a natural progression to the end. I'm not saying go around and saying, hey, you no longer fit in my life. It's a new season. I don't need you anymore. No. What I'm saying is, when you feel it, because you'll feel it, these relationships, there'll be something different than when you guys started in the beginning. In the beginning, it was smooth, it was flowing. There was not much effort you guys needed to put in order to make it work. But now there's just not this gelling anymore. It's just, you have to put too much effort, you have to push, you're even questioning it. She doesn't call me like she used to. We don't go out like we used to. Where she used to call you every day, now she calls you once a week. That's what I'm talking about. There's this level of discernment you also have. It's just this level of loyalty that keeps you holding on. Those are the type of relationships I'm speaking about. Not the toxic ones. I'm not talking about the toxic ones, the ones that you need to cut out. I'm talking about the ones that are just not the same anymore. And you know them. And I'm just encouraging us to take like stock of relationships that are in our lives, the people in our lives, when they are in our lives, while they're in our lives, and just you need to take stock. Just do inventory and check, is it still the same? Am I forcing myself? Or do you feel like this person is forcing themselves? When that phone rings and you see their name, like, ugh, and you don't know why you start feeling like that. There's nothing wrong with that person. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that relationship has run its course and you guys are just forcing it. So you need to let it run its course. Failure to do that would lead to animosity, because what you're doing is that you're forcing. Now at some point you'll feel like it's a one-sided effort and like this person doesn't appreciate me anymore after all of that I've done for them, this and that and that. And because you're forcing, now you're starting to have ill feelings towards that person. So letting the relationship run its course, it's avoiding that. Because as much as God can bring that person into your life for that season to help you, when you let it run its course, should God want to use the same persons to help you in a different season, then there's no issue, because that relationship ended naturally. However, if you keep on holding on and you just don't want to let go, and the relationship ends up in animosity, hatred, and there's just bad vibes between the two of you, should God use that person, you will not allow that person to help you, because all you'll be thinking about is how hurt you were, how betrayed you felt, how that person doesn't appreciate you. And during this period of this relationship changing, you mustn't speak bad about this person with other people, because you never know what might happen in the future. All I'm saying is that don't force things. Don't force relationships that have run their course. They are dry. You feel it, that it's dry. There's no more juice. There's no more fuel in this thing. It has died. Not even died. It just has run its course. Because what I did with the blanket, I didn't throw it away. I washed it and I packed it away. Who knows? I might need it. Chances are I'm going to need it in the next season. So that's what I'm saying. Don't go around telling that person, I don't need you. I've got a new season in my life. You don't fit into the picture anymore, because you might need this person later on. So just let it run its course. And if you feel like you missed that person at some point in life or some other time during the month where you haven't spoken to each other because there was no ill feelings, you can call and say, hey girl, how you doing? I was just thinking about you. How's life? Wish them well. Pray for them. That's the beauty of letting it run its course. It's that whenever you feel like talking to the person, or if the person invites you somewhere, you can easily go without feeling like, oh no, they betrayed me. And please, let's not be petty. When you let that relationship run, do not now go and, on social media when days are dark, friends of you do so much for people and they just betray you and they just leave you without goodbye. No, recognize when seasons are changing, recognize when you are being moved to another level and be able to accept it. Let's be adults about this. Let's be matured about this. This also reminds me of a story with Jesus in John 6. And that's another reason why we need to let people go. Some it's just that the relationship has run its course, and some it's just your season is also changing. Not only has the season for that person in your life ended, but you are also moving into a new season. So Jesus was talking to all the disciples, including the 12, and he was telling them that he's the bread of life, that if they eat of him and they drink of his blood, then they will not die. And they were not understanding this, like, how can that be? And it says majority of them left him. And he asked the 12 remaining, do you also want to go? He never said to those ones, please don't go, because he knew what was going to happen. He didn't say, let me elaborate further, like what's gonna happen, like don't go, you're gonna miss out. No, he let them go because their season in his life was over. And also, when you read that story, recognize that Jesus was telling them who he is, who God has called him to be, his purpose, and they couldn't align themselves with his purpose, who he is. And there's some people in our lives, whether you've known them since you were 12 or not, there's a time where God is moving you to a different level and he's transforming you, he's renewing you, he's shaping you, and they don't recognize that person and they're thinking you have changed. And of course you have changed. We change in life. But the person that they see, they cannot connect with that person anymore. Just as those disciples couldn't connect with Jesus. It's okay, because if you keep on holding on to them, even when they don't recognize or they just can't connect with you, what you'll end up doing is, out of this sense of loyalty, is you'll end up just pulling back and shying away from what God has called you to do. In that sense, being disloyal to yourself and being in disobedience to what God has called you to do. So let those people who don't, like, they look at you and they're like, I don't get you. Who's this label? Like, she didn't used to be like this. Like, friend, you've changed. Yes, I've changed. It's okay if you don't recognize this change, and if you can't align yourself with this change, it's fine. And let them go. It's fine. Don't force them to stay. Those ones, if they want to go, it's fine. Because what I've seen is when we hold on to these people, that space they occupy blocks the new people that God is trying to bring into your life. That's saying that when one door closes, another one open, it's actually true. But unless we close it shut, we will not see this one that's opening, because we're busy looking in that direction when God is saying, I'm gonna open this one for you. So, and it can be not even another person, it can be something else. It can be marriage, it can be kids, it can be a new career, a new business, but something God will bring into something, a newness, into this new season, this new level that is bringing you to. He will bring also new grace, new help, new relationships to this new level. Because some of these people, God is saying, they were good for when you were at level 2. I'm taking you to level 4, babes. And you cannot take the people that are still at level 2. And it's no bad reflection on them. They're running their own path, their own course. It's on them. It's okay. But where God is taking you, he's saying, you need new grace. You need new help. You need new level of encouragement. You don't need a 10-minute prayer. You need a 30 minutes, an hour prayer partner. And you can only find it when you let go of this one and you start welcoming this one. So I'm just here to encourage us that when you see that, take stock of the relationships in your life. Stop holding on to people. Some of them are heavy on you. Stop holding on to stale relationships. Let relationships run their course. Don't feel guilty even if they were there for you in your season of need. Don't feel guilty when you see it running its course. Let it run naturally, progress naturally to wherever it's going to end up. And don't badmouth people. Don't get into altercations with people just because things are changing. Sometimes it's them who are changing and you're the one that feels like you're getting left behind. It's okay. That also should be an encouragement for you to work on yourself as well, so that you can also move into another level. So because sometimes we look at the other people as if we're the ones that are moving to a new level, whereas we are the ones that are still in the same level and they're the ones that are moving. That's where animosity arises. So if you feel like this person is progressing at a speed that you don't recognize, take stock of your life now. Now look at yourself and say, what in my life is stale and what can I change, and how can I grow without like putting any blame on them, without trying to pull them back. Let those people go and move with God and to where God will take you. And I promise you, God will bring you something new, something different. It can be a new passion, it can be something new to do, it can be you getting into a new career, it can be you getting into like starting to study, it can be anything, but it will only arrive when there is space in your life for it. Until you let go, there will not be space for you to carry the newness that God is taking you to. New one requires new wineskin. Same principle works with relationships. The new ones that God is trying to bring in your life can only be in full manifestation when you let go of the old. I'm also going to talk to you, sisters. Sometimes we hold on to that past ex. Is gone, but we're holding on, we're looking at him, you're going through his Instagram pictures, you're going all over his social media, you're still holding on in hopes that he'll come back. And in that time, your heart is filled with that person and you will not recognize when God brings you a new person. So let go, let that relationship fizzle out as it's supposed to. And when God brings you that new one, you will see that it was worth it to let go. So I hope this encourages somebody, and that we will stop feeling guilty when relationships run their course, and that we will not make others feel guilty when they're moving at a different pace than we are. So as I always say, 3 things will always remain, and that is faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of all of them is love. And as we let people go, we do it out of love. There's no hate, there's no animosity, there's no back chatting, there's no gossip, there's just love. That when a person asks you, where's sister so and so, you can say, oh, she's okay, she moved to Cape Town. Oh, she's okay, she's on a different path, but she's fine. We talk now and then. That's the sisterly and love way of doing it. So thank you for joining me. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye, saints.